Right, welcome back. Now we're going down to the leggings. So that's the original colour that we used. Now to highlight that, I'm going to choose one of the fleshes. Okay. So I just put it next to it. And then I can make them meet where I want them to meet. Right. So again, I'm going to go for my best regiment brush. Right, okay. Right. This is the original colour. This is, you can feed the original colour with just by using the tip until you think you're somewhere near where you need to be. Now, let's have a look. I find these actually quite difficult, to be honest with you, because there's lots of, see in the putties, where the putty is pulled, you can see you have a highlight either side and just a slight shadow in where the tautness of the material was pulled. So we're going to try and capture some of that. I mean, we can't do all of it. But first of all, where the tie is tied, that's where we'll start with our first highlight. And there isn't one the other side. Now, let's have a look. So, where we're going to definitely change brushes for this. Yep, not that. Because I think with this, we're only going to go for one highlight. So, and I've just noticed, do you ever get this? At the tip of your brush, there can sometimes be some dry paint. And it means that you're attempting to paint using a tiny little nodule of dry paint, which is not good. So it's come off, so we're free to go. Right, let's see if I can capture this. Right, the top one, top highlight is an important one. We're just going to do the top ones. I don't know if we'll even do the ones underneath. Boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, we'll be coming in with a bit of shade after this. And here. And the one at the bottom. And over here. Boom, 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 boom. And the ones where the two, let's say, so you've got the leather boots. So where the leather boot meets the putty, where things meet, that's probably where you need to be at your neatest, okay? Because that's where one item of clothing or whatever, apparel, leather, whatever, disembarks from the other. So it's always good to make sure that when you paint, you save your best strokes for that area. Okay, right. Now, there's one I want to get, but it is a difficult one, right? And it's here, okay. I think we've got it. Yeah, quite pleased with that. Now, I'm going to go just for now, the flesh colour. Okay. Right. And I'm going to do the very tip of the bow, the knot, whatever. And then here, I just want to get a tiny little, tiny highlight there. The tiniest one there. So when you're using an insanely tiny brush, and the paint here is quite thick, you don't have much working time from the time the paint goes onto the bristle and you deliver it wherever you want it to be delivered to. So you try and have some confidence in your strokes there. Right, just one more go up the top. And again, focus on where the putty ends and where the putty begins. Okay, now what we need is to get some dark shade in there somewhere. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go straight back to the flesh colour. And I'm just going to try and put some more of that flesh into those gaps, because I want to avoid using black, because black is something that you wouldn't really see. It's very, very dark brown you get away with, but black is kind of like, makes it look like toyland. So I'm quite pleased with the way that those putties have kind of gone. They're not Now, to spot something right, I need to get now just a small amount of ink onto the palette, because I have got my tiniest brush and I've got black ink. So now I just want to go in and just tidy up some of those areas that maybe need tidying up. So we'll tidy up here. Okay, we're going to, right, I can see here, tidy up, I don't know if you can see there, just where these two meet. So your tiniest brush, and when you're using this black ink, you know you can't clog anything up because it's basically just like water. It's not paint as such. Okay, right. I think that's looking quite good. Yes, yes, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Yes, 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 yes. Right, I've seen where I need to put some of Miska's lips. Look, his lips just here. Okay, do that. And you know, I think I'm going to put a tiny bit of black there and just stick it underneath. Don't know if you can see. Always works quite well. And the moustache. And there, okay. Right, I'm quite pleased with that now. I'm going to now go to the last highlights on the flesh, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, hello. We're getting close to the end now. Flesh highlights. I mean, this is the place where you can lose so much. That's kind of like, I like to get it done first, because then if I do lose, I haven't wasted loads and loads of time. So I've got the skin tones again, as I was talking about. And you only need 3. Anything more than 3 is, you know, it's going to be lost on people. So, right, I've got some of each on the palette now. Talk about my palettes, right? Basically, all I've got is one of those A4 plastic kind of, you know, the kind of holders for paper. You can get a packet of those, you know, from the works. You get 50 for about 99 pence with just a piece of card inside it. So anyway, let's see. We're going to do the knuckles. Are we ready? Yep. Okay. So a small amount of this with my smallest brush. 1, 2, 3. Let's go back in there. Possibly I should have used the insane detail instead of this one, because I mean this is a serious. Yeah, I think I will. See, this this Psycho brush, difficult to put dots on because it is such a crazy. You can always think there's nothing on there. So I'll go for this, which is probably going to be better just to deliver dots, because that's all we're playing around with right at the moment. Okay, right. So again, I'm going to put in a knuckle, knuckle. Right. And the most important ones are just in here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I can see I've gone a little bit astray there, so I'm going to just get that's kind of got it back together. Now, it's the most important 2 tiny bits of paint I'm going to put on the whole figure, right? And I'm going to go for, right, I daren't go for the highest highlight because I'm going to save that in reserve, because this might be enough. Okay, turn him around. So, cheekbone. And cheekbone. Okay, see now the face with just that tiny, well, in fact, it's a little line. What I would do now if I was going to go really ape on this, and I think I will for the video, now I've gone back to the insane one, because I've got the highest, the lightest of all, tiniest pan on it, right? And I'm going to put a dot on here. Yep. Right, now can you see? Now sometimes there's a nostril sticking out somewhere. So if we can get that, it's always nice to just show that you've taken that extra care. Could ruin it. That'll do. Can you see that? Right. Right, you can see the nostril, turning him around in that direction. Yep. And now all we're going to do, just to finish it off, we're going to go back to the steel. Unadulterated steel with no black ink or anything like that. And we're going to do, maybe we can even do the buckle. Let's have a little look. Okay, right. I can see, as there should be, a buckle on the baldric here. Okay. And let me see, there's something. No, that's good, it's okay. And very often they'd have just on the ends of the straps, just a tiny piece of steel there, just so they last longer. Okay, now, somewhere in this, there is, believe it or not, there is a belt buckle. Now, we're going to find it. Right, let's have another go. See if we can just touch it on. Yes, so we've got the belt buckle done there. Yep, right. And I tell you what, yes, we've got a small, again, one of those tiny little pieces at the end of this. We got it? I think we have. Boom, that's it. Right, now for the helmet, we're just going to put in just a few, just things that just make it just ping. I mean, you can go in and you can do your rivets on your helmet. Maybe it's going to be too long a video. And right here, there, I think right on the end that worked. And then let's not forget, we've got the blade. Okay. Now, no guesses for where the highlight on the blade is, right along the thing there. And look, I've got the hilt, so got to go back to basics. Paint that in there. I mean, you don't mind doing these things when you've won the figure. That's what it's all about, you know. Right, and now just a tiny highlight there. There. As you can see, I've just gone a little bit over onto the, you know, if you grip something like the little pudgy little bit you've got there. So let's just dive in there and cover that up. Yeah. Right, okay, so just wait one moment. Yeah. Okay, right, we've just grabbed the original Uhtred's shield off him, and these are not hand painted by me. They're Little Big Man Studios, and they're the Gripping Beast ones and various sizes. I would not go for the extra large ones. There's a few big ones there as well. But so, okay, let's just hold him up here, and you can just get an idea of what we've achieved. Now, when it comes to basing, right, I mean, I'll do a very, very short video on basing, but as you can see, look, he's already on his 2mm, 25mm circle MDF base, and I basically just stuck him on, and I put some milliput around the edge, and then what I use to cover the bases is basically I go out into the garden with a spoon, I dig up some dirt, I sieve it, I put it in on a tray, put it in the oven, which takes all the moisture out. And basically you just put your milliput and then you put some PVA glue in, and you just hold him, dangle him in there, let it go off. And you can either put watery PVA glue over the top just to seal it, or I use this matte medium from Woodland Scenics, which does the job perfectly. And also, randomly, if you put within your dirt from the garden, you end up getting a neat rock or two, which means you don't have to go in with your tweezers afterwards. But yeah, so thanks for looking. Take care.